pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is to advise those present at this meeting of the Board of Education of the Pinelands Regional School District in the County of Ocean that adequate notice of this meeting was provided in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act. The notice has been posted in the Board of Education office, junior high school, and high school buildings. The notice was also sent to the Press of Atlantic City, Asbury Park Press, and filed with the municipal clerks of Bass River Township, Eagleswood Township, Little Egg Harbor Township, and the Borough of Tuckerton. C, roll call that was previously recorded. Moving into item 3, approval of the minutes. I ask for a motion to approve the minutes listed, A1 and B1. We have a motion on the floor, thank you, and Patty Martin, second, thank you. All in favor? Or actually, no, let's roll call those, please. Amanda, roll call vote.
Mr. Hewitt?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Regular, yes. Executive, abstain.
Noted. Ms. Patty Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Crystal Martin?
Yes.
Mrs. McVeigh?
Yes.
Zimmerman?
I abstain. I was not here.
Mr. Dalio?
Yes.
Mr. Bonnicky?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Excellent. Moving into our student, our reports, item 4, from our student representative, Max Ramos. How are you?
Good evening. We're off and running at high school. We held our fall pep rally on the second day of school and celebrated our fall sports team. The class of 2025 once again took home the spirits today. Last week, the varsity girls tennis team defeated Lakewood. Over the weekend, field hockey took home the win against Keyport, and girls volleyball defeated Old. Last week, the JAG classes worked with the League of Women Voters of the U.S. to present to the U.S. History 2 classes. Students learned about the voting rules and got to see running between mock elections. Just a reminder to families that back to school night is this Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. On Friday, there will be a club rush during lunches, during which students can learn more about the different clubs high school offers. We're looking forward to homecoming next month. The homecoming football game is Friday, October 18th, and that Saturday we will have a parade, the Harvest Festival, and the dance. It is going to be an exciting weekend.
Thanks, Max. I present our superintendent, Dr. Melissa McCauley, for your superintendent's report.
Thank you. As Max said, we had a great opening to school. There's a positive vibe everywhere, and we were happy to see all the students and staff back in the buildings. Back to school night is this Thursday for the high school, next Thursday for the junior high. Hope parents can come out. Our SALT committee will meet on September 30th at 2:15. We are going to be discussing things like class rank, attendance, and President Bonnicky will go into something in a little bit that will also be discussed at the upcoming SALT meeting. We have some updates on the dam. This month, we got the requisite signatures for the co-owners of the dam and have submitted the dam safety permit application to our project manager, Princeton Hydro. Once the New Jersey Department of DEP approves our permits, the dam deregulation can be complete. Unfortunately, we did not receive the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association grant for which we applied last year. We had planned to use this grant to complete our 3-phase bog environmental project. However, this will not deter us from finding funding for our project, as we have plans to apply for grant monies from the Barnegat Bay Partnership and the United States Environmental Protection Agency. Mr. Jim Arduin and our Pinelands ecology students welcome you to join them for the Pinelands Regional Bog Bash, which is happening on Thursday, September 19th from 8:15 to 1:15. Our students will be exploring the various environmental issues that they will learn about and collaborate throughout the year. Our partners with the NJDEP, Rutgers University, Ocean County Soil Conservation District, Stockton University, and more will host stations where they will highlight their environmental areas of focus. As Max said, we are bringing the parade back to Pinelands, and our parade will take place on October the 19th and will parade into the Fall Festival, which will be held on our school grounds. We're super excited about that. Update on dual enrollment. OCC, we have 16 courses. Stockton, we have 11 for 27 total. This year we added forensic, astronomy, art appreciation, which is Art AP. Just another update, Dr. Frasca and I successfully passed our Black Seal Boilers Assessment. Amanda is next with Mr. Rocheski. The theme for this school year in both buildings is attendance matters. The local businesses have jumped on board, and you'll see signs out in front of some of them that are assisting us with this cause. Thank you to the local police department, specifically Chief Hawkins, for all your assistance with an incident that took place, of which Mr. Bonnigy will be discussing something shortly. There were a couple questions from board members about agenda items. Just to briefly go over those, there was a question about in operations about the Bass River listing as a joint entity for busing. Bass River still is a non-operating school district, but they do have a budget and taxpayers. They are part of the jointure, so you will see them listed under that jointure and the bills list for that. There was a question about the bills list. What are the fees to the IRS for? This is something that's been going on for many years. I know it was OPRA'd by a board member and all that information was sent out, and we still have to pay the remaining balance for that. Travel and training is mentioned on there for 4 administrators going to the school boards conference. The travel and training listed on there for $280 is just a blanket approval for things like tolls, gas, and parking fees. It won't necessarily be done for each of the people going. We have to submit our receipts afterwards. So for example, if Dr. Frasca and I carpool together, only one of us would actually put in for that training. So it's basically a pre-approval of what the cost may be, but we have to submit receipts to get approval for that. And then lastly, go Birds, 8:15 tonight.
I'll move on. Thank you. Moving into item 5, presentations, we have Karen Kenny to present the SSDS.
Phil's going to load that. I have a brief presentation on our student safety data system, and it is something that we have to report twice a year to the New Jersey Department of Education. I'm really proud of the Pinelands Regional School District. We have been focusing on all of our efforts on safety. We are a second home to our students, so it's really important to me and really the entire administrative team, the entire staff, to make sure that we provide a safe and learning environment for our students. On both sides of our street, we have an SRO on each building. We have an armed security guard on each side of the street. We have camera systems throughout the building, and we have a vaping control system in the bathrooms. So these are some of the measures that we take to provide our students a really safe environment, because we're always trying to improve and do the best that we can. So this is report, the next slide. He's going to be my Vanna, Phil, sorry. Thank you. Thank you. So this system collects 2 types of information from the schools. It does a whole list of the incidents of violence, vandalism, harassment, intimidation, or bullying, weapon offenses, substance offenses, restraint, seclusion, or any other incident leading to a student removal. It also documents HIB trainings and programs. Next slide. The State Department defines each area, and you can see underneath the definitions, they would say weapons, it would have to say sale, distribution. Vandalism would be arson, theft, trespass. Next slide. And then we have HIB alleged, HIB confirmed, we have restraint and seclusion. So they're all the different incident categories that we have to fill in for the school district. So the next slide will show you the high school from January 1st through June 30th with 50 incidents total, and it breaks it down into the areas that you will see. You'll see a large number in substances at 37, and that's where we're really hammering down on the vaping in the bathrooms and really using our vape sensor, and that's where you're going to see that category. But each area is documented throughout by the vice principals, and they make sure that we go through the system. So it's how many alleged HIB cases were there, and then how many were confirmed. So there were 7 alleged and 2 confirmed. Our next slide is the junior high school. And again, you'll see the differences. There's 27 incidents total for the junior high, and then you'll have the 35 incidents leading to removal and 3 restraint seclusion. The next slide documents our HIB trainings and programs. The trainings in the high school all took place in the first half of the year. So the second half of the year, we're working on our programs. And some of the highlights are the Random Weeks of Kindness, Respect and Unity Day, Mental Health Awareness Month, and Teen Dating Awareness Month. Next slide. And the junior high school had 3 trainings and 8 programs completed. Again, they have some activities such as Mix It Up Lunch, Starts with Hello, Teen Dating Awareness, Mental Health Awareness, and the Sidekicks program. And if you do the next slide is the district totals. You can do a comparison through the 2. Bless you. And as I said, this is reported. It's the deadline for this is in August. You have to submit it that's when you have to do it. And then in September through November, you have the opportunity to present this information to the school board. And the last slide just features any questions. One thing I would really like to commend both building principals and their administrative team for each side is that they really work on being accessible to students. And when you do any research on any violence that occurs in schools, sometimes someone always hears about it. And they will report it to people if they feel comfortable. And just what recently happened actually happened, that students felt comfortable enough to immediately reach out to administration. So I'm really proud of both sides of our street that not only are they present in the hallways and they're accessible, but that students feel comfortable enough to approach them. So that's really an amazing feature of Pinelands Regional School District, and just another example of why it's such a great place to work at. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
They also like to flush them down the toilets at the high school.
Does the board have any other questions for Karen at this time? No. Okay, let's move into section 6, work session. Under A, we have board forum. If anyone from the board has anything to speak about. I think when we get into item B, new business, the topic at hand.
And one quick thing, Mr. President, I don't recall, I may have completely forgotten it, but has the board addressed our policy on drug testing? There was talk about it before, that we would look at that policy as far as, testing our athletes.
Does that fall under SALT? What is
No,
that?
the policy still exists
the
for
policy-
random drug testing.
It
Yeah.
exists.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm correct. We have yet to talk about it. We were talking about revamping it based on what happened last year at graduation. And we haven't spoken about it. So maybe sometime we could we could talk about that.
Will that fall under the SALT committee to bring that policy, or as a board will we look to review that policy? Because that was something that, yes, we did discuss in the past, but we have not brought it forward.
Okay, I didn't miss
To
anything. Okay.
No, you did not miss
If
anything.
you want to bring that to SALT, that would be great if a board member sat in on that discussion.
Add that to your list.
Sure.
Thank you.
To bring it to SALT.
So let's continue into policy and policies that, this recent unfortunate potential incident that caused quite alarm, which we should continue our further discussion as a board. We did have some discussion earlier, but I would like to further that discussion into potential ways with the assistance of Melissa and Will Donio about incidents that would cause us to have absences, basically absenteeism, right, for the potential incident that took place. I know a policy exists under New Jersey Department of Education code where they define what is an excused absence. This instance is not listed, and I don't know if the New Jersey Department of Education has ever considered this instance to be one of those definable reasons, but there is a little caveat that allows us to massage, create policy to perhaps come up with a solution. God forbid it's something potential like this comes across this district again. Melissa, would you care to expand?
Sure, and unfortunately, this is happening all over the nation now with these social media threats, and some schools are closing, some schools are having extra security, as we did. But as we discussed during the executive, I really appreciated the feedback of some of the board members who were out there talking to family members in the community. And of course, I myself fielded many questions, concerns, as well as the administrative team did. As Mr. Bonnicky said, at this point, it would not fall under one of the categories that we have as an excused absence. And as we discussed earlier too, we worked closely with the police department to make sure that school was safe to open. However, I do like the feedback from Ms. Martin that some families didn't feel 100% safe because they didn't get that reassurance early enough to put their child on the bus. So in this situation, according to the policy and the code, it's not excused. However, I do like the notion of taking this policy to SALT, having a discussion, and adding the piece where if a situation similar to this happens again, the parent can appeal that absence to the superintendent, because then we can say, yes, I do see your perspective that that correspondence could have gone out a little bit earlier, and you may have felt more comfortable coming to school that day. And because of that, you're able to appeal that absence. And maybe, Will, you can kind of
Sure.
piggyback off that.
Sure, and just without going into too much of the attorney-client communication I've had, my recommendation, unfortunately, as many of you know, we represent a lot of school districts, and this has been an issue both very recently and, you know, and amplified and made more tragic by tragic incidents that have occurred recently. So this is something that I know this board and all of our boards take very seriously, and they take parental concerns very seriously. They want the students to understand that, you know, we understand anxiety, we understand anxiousness, we understand, you know, being confused or being worried about something that might happen. Just to be very blunt, and I say this in all of my school districts, for the vast majority of students, the safest place they can be is at school. And schools are safe places, and our school is a safe place, and that needs to be amplified and reiterated. But I also understand and have made a recommendation to the Board of Education through its SALT committee to evaluate the basis for an appeal of an unexcused absence to perhaps include a parental concern based on a timeline or a similar situation to the one that you just had, which would then be applicable to those absences that you just had. If those students determined for one reason or another they needed to go before the Student Absence Appeal Committee, that would be something that would be considered to be valid and reasonable and in good faith as a justification. The reason I'm not recommending a retroactive adoption of a policy is that those are generally considered, retroactive adoption of policies generally considered, if not always considered, though I don't like to use the term always, generally considered to be invalid. And if you think about it, it won't take long for you to understand why, both from the Commissioner of Education as well as from various courts that have looked at that. And that is generally that when the government, and you are a governmental entity, you are a state actor, when it has interactions with the public, it's important for the public to know ahead of time, before those interactions, what is and is not permissible. So even though I applaud the idea of maybe retroactively applying something to help students. Generally a bad and slippery slope to go down when you're doing that retroactive application, when we can prospectively change the appeal process, because you're not there yet, and provide students a path to get those absences considered to be excused. And I think that I think will satisfy your various stakeholders both, and recognize the validity of both the parental action without diminishing the idea of parents who perhaps did not take that action as well. So I think this is a way of recognizing school is a safe place. We want you to be at school. If we didn't think it was a safe place, we would be taking actions, much more authoritatively and aggressively than right. But nonetheless, we also don't want parents or students to feel that we didn't hear, listen, or understand your concerns. And so this gives them a path to get that as well validated as well. So that's my recommendation.
Thanks, Will. Thanks, Melissa. Board members, any comments or questions in that regard? Anything further in what we discussed? Yeah. Certainly. Okay. Let's move on into item 7, Residents Forum. Board policy number 0167 encourages community participation in every meeting. However, the board requests that the public respect a 3-minute time limit when commenting on agenda items. So at this time, on agenda items only, anyone from the floor? Going once, twice, and thrice. We're into our regular board business, and we are going to item number 8 under instructional. And I ask for a motion to approve items 8A through 8E. Mr. Dalio, your motion will stand.
Second.
Betty Ann, thank you. Are there any questions on items 8A through 8E? There being none, Amanda, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hewitt?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Patty Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Crystal Martin?
Yes.
Mrs. McVeigh?
Yes.
Ms. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Dalio?
Yes.
Mr. Bonnicky?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving into personnel, I ask for a motion to approve personnel items 9A through 9AA.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions to items 9A through 9AA?
I have a question about a new hire. I
Okay.
emailed the superintendent regarding the nurse hire. If you could answer those questions, please.
I didn't get an email. I've been here waiting for the board meeting. What is your question?
Sent it at 4:10 p.m. And I said regarding Tara Rogers, nurse, how many years' experience does she have in a school district? And can you explain why the step 20?
So she has 16 years experience in nursing, and I can hire 4 years above according to the PEA contract. So I put her at step 20, which is actually, she's taking a cut in pay from her current job to come here.
So 82,000 for a school nurse for just junior high, 7th and 8th grade. Correct.
Correct.
And how many applicants did you get for this opening?
I believe we had 3.
And the fact that she's close friends with a lot of people in this district, didn't sway your decision making?
I don't ask for family trees or who their friend circle is when they get hired. They get hired where they're the most qualified candidate.
It just seems like everybody has relatives that are very highly qualified to be, I guess, employed here, but our state record doesn't show that. But okay, that's all I have for that one.
Okay.
Any other questions on items 9A through 9AA? There being none, Amanda, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hewitt?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes, except D2, no.
Hold on one second, please. Okay.
and why the substitute list no to Sage Farrow.
So she voted no to Tara Rogers and Sage Farrow.
Okay, and you also need to vote, abstain on, Dr. McCauley's miracle.
I already just emailed my position to the board president, so that my vote, what I stated, would go on the agenda, please.
So you're voting yes for her miracles.
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like me to vote no?
No, you're not supposed to vote on any of her personnel matters.
Well, I sent the board president.
So,
It's not.
I'll handle that one.
Okay.
Will, in the world of legality, there's shall, should, could, must, the. So, an opinion that comes from the SEC is just that of an opinion, not an actual, how do I cause it to decease or discipline someone. It's an opinion that someone shouldn't do something for cause in the future that could come back to that person.
Well, I think the School Ethics Commission would probably endorse this or agree with this following statement. An advisory opinion is advice from the School Ethics Commission regarding possible action that it does say you can or should not make, should make or should not make. And it is based only on the facts as presented to them when they issue that advisory opinion. With the caveat that if issued an advisory opinion and a board member takes action which they believe falls under that advisory opinion, and they do not follow that advisory opinion, I'm not sure they would find that to be a violation of rule, order, or what have you under the School Ethics Act. But it would, I believe, impact the determination as to what the appropriate penalty were there to be a violation of the act. And I'll give you the following. There is, I believe, a School Ethics Commission opinion, and I wish I had a little prior notice of this, but I believe where both a board member may have gotten an advisory opinion as well as the advice of the council of the board to not do whatever it is they were going to do. And they did it.
Understood.
And they did it,
Understood.
and the School Ethics Commission said, this is not, I don't think they said it was a per se violation of the act. They said, but now when we get to the penalty phase, that's where it's going to come into play.
Right. A reprimand hasn't been handed down, but yet if that person continues
If you
not
don't follow
following
school-
the opinion,
Yes, and-
perhaps the reprimand would be stronger.
Not only stronger, but they may actually skip some of what they would consider to be the progressive discipline that they would normally follow. Whether it's reprimand and I can't remember which ones as well.
Understood.
Reprimand, censure, suspension. They may actually say, you know what? We told you not to do, so while we would normally do X, we're going to do X plus Y.
Understood. That's on the penalty phase, but it doesn't actually stop a board person from acting or voting in the manner they want to vote, regardless of the opinion.
And they do,
Right.
again, and that ultimately at their peril.
Right. And I believe that's understood.
Okay.
Should I wait till she comes back?
For
Amanda. Just I didn't want to mess up if she was going to type something. But ethics wise, Ms. McCauley has filed about, I don't know, I lost count, ethics charges, 5 counts of what she says that I violated of A, which is that I.
Stephanie, let me remind, so we're talking about,
The advisor
The-
she had where she states I can't.
We have a vote on the
correct.
floor.
No, correct. That's what I'm getting. I'm going back to that. I'm going back to the vote on the floor because we're not discussing. I think we handled that you could or could not, and you will vote in any way you want to see, and you understand the potential.
It's on me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think we have to
I'm
further
attempting to show that I can vote on.
positively. Yes, without that, without a doubt.
Can't tell me how future me is going to vote. And based on the information I have, whether I will vote unbiasedly or against it is on me.
That's
So,
right. That's
I feel like
we're at a full understanding.
that's how I live my life.
And then going forward, you will not be,
So,
for the sense of using the word censored, you will not be, you can't do that.
and
Do what you do.
the other members might not know this, but they didn't, the state says that that advisory is not a law a
Right.
regulation or anything that they can enforce.
I think we got to the bottom of that, so I think we're all clear. Okay, so the vote remains on the floor for, okay, so maybe I lost my place.
You want to go back to the vote?
But
So
no.
you're voting, you're continuing with
So-
the yes on this.
So yes, that's a yes on that.
Yeah.
And we're still in a
Noted.
roll call. Very
Ms. Patty
good.
Martin? We're voting on the personnel items. I just, okay.
Yeah, up to.
A through double A.
Yep.
Mrs. McVeigh?
Yes.
Ms. Crystal Martin?
Yes.
Mrs. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Dalio?
Yes.
Mr. Bonnicky?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 10, under HIB, harassment, intimidation, and bullying, there is nothing to act on this evening. Moving into policies and procedures, under 11A, we have nothing to act on this evening. We move into item 12, operations. I ask for a motion to approve operations items 12A through 12I.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you, ladies. Are there any questions on items 12A through 12I? There being none, Amanda, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hewitt?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
A abstain, B through L, yes. Oh, wait, I'm
No,
sorry.
we're on
This is
12.
12.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. 12,
We're in 13. There's nothing on 12.
Yes, there is.
11, there's, yeah.
Hold
11
on.
was
My,
policies and
my
procedures.
apologies.
I jumped. I'm
Operations.
sorry.
12 is operations.
I know. Everything else, yes.
Okay, I just want to add again, H is, Dr. McCooley is on H and you're voting yes for that.
That's fine. She could file an ethics charge.
Noted. So just yes on everything except for I.
Correct. I'm sure Gina's typing it up right now.
Stephanie.
Ms. Martin, Patty Martin, it's Crystal Martin.
Yeah.
Mrs. McVeigh,
Yes.
Zimmerman,
Yes, but can you note that I'm gonna abstain from C, please, Amanda?
noted. Mr. Dalio,
Yes.
Mr. Bonnicky,
Yes.
motion carries.
Item 13, report of the board secretary, business administrator. I ask for a motion to approve items 13A through 13L.
Motion.
Thank you. Any questions on those items 13A through 13L? Seeing no questions, Amanda, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hewitt,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Abstain A, B through L, yes.
so you're abstaining on the whole bills list.
Well, yeah, because Barger and Gaines I have to abstain for, so however you want to list that.
Okay. And yes for everything else,
Correct.
including Dr. McCooley's travel.
Yes.
Noted. Ms. Patty Martin. Mrs. McVeigh.
Yes.
Ms. Crystal Martin.
Yes.
Ms. Zimmerman.
Yes.
Mr. Dalio.
Yes.
Mr. Bonnicky.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 14, informational items. We have a security drill record form. Doc, that's an annual form that is completed?
So we do security drills sometimes monthly, like the fire drills. It depends on what it is. There's a certain amount we have to get done in a year.
Great. I see 2 items on there.
Yeah, I
two-
think
twice
within the
so
first
far.
10 days we have to have a fire drill.
Fantastic. Any questions on security drill, board members? It's not a vote, it's just information. There being none, let's move into item 15, Residents Forum on General Topics. Board Policy number 0167 encourages community participation in every meeting. However, the board requests that the public respect a reasonable time limit of 3 minutes when commenting on any topic. Anyone from the floor on any item? Once, twice, thrice. Public comment is closed from general topics, and let's move into board forum. Max, give you an opportunity. You want to gain your, kind of get your thoughts together? I can start with David. That's a great decision. David?
Congratulations to a great start to the school year. It's great to see all of the students involved and all of their activities and out and about. See great things.
Fantastic. Thank you. Patty Martin.
Yes, just as when the minutes come out, the agenda comes out, I really like to see names of former students coming back to be a substitute, an aide, etc. I think that's great that they're coming back to Pinelands, even if they're just starting their careers. Also, sitting out there in college dorms somewhere, or the military, or at a job, or a technical institute, to all the graduates of the class of 24. Congratulations. It's finally, it's happening now.
Great. Thanks, Patty. Betty Ann?
Thank you. Under the donations on the agenda were donations from Barbara Wilkinson. So I'd like to thank her for her continued support at Pinelands Regional here, and also the Reynolds Family Foundation for their donation. It is most appreciated. My usual caution, you can tell the days are getting shorter now. We have a lot going on both sides of the street. So if you're driving down Nugenttown or even around parks and playgrounds, look out for kids that are more excited about what they're doing and not necessarily following the rules of the road. So be careful when you're driving around. Thank you.
Thank you, Betty Ann. I swivel to you, Max.
Things in schools seem to be going smoothly, as well as definitely getting better handled, I suppose, especially with the look forward to the rest of the year.
Thank you, Max. Crystal Morton?
Congratulations on a good start to the new year. Thank you to Dr. McCoy and the board for a good discussion tonight on the absentee policy. I think that was great. Here's to the rest of the year.
Thank you. Stephanie Johnson?
September is Suicide Awareness Month, so for anyone who is struggling or feeling hopeless, please know you matter and you're enough, and help is only a phone call away at 988, which is the National Suicide and Crisis Hotline. I too wanted to thank Barbara, Bobby Wilkinson, Burpee Seeds, Blessing and Blooms, and the Reynolds Family Foundation for their generous donation to our schools. With the recent school threat, in my personal opinion, I found that it was the attitude of the admin and the stance that they don't feel like they need to give complete answers to parents, and it just felt like it just caused more frustration, more unanswered questions, more speculation, and absolutely zero accountability or transparency that this district is being run effectively at the administration level. As far as this board, we are not a true functioning board with several members that are just puppets filling a seat. For those I believe actually care, we are not presented with complete information. We are not given ample time to review agenda items, and often are given information to vote on the last minute. I implore the public to start holding the board and administrative accountable for how this district is run, because as of now, there is absolutely no checks and balances, no oversight in place to hold the admin accountable for their attendance, job performance, the proper evaluation of staff, staff turnover, retaliation towards staff and students of parents that express criticisms. We need to do better. I implore our board president and board council to be more active in ethically guiding our board in obtaining the information we request, to remind the superintendent she answers to us, as she is the only employee we have oversight for. I urge the president to remind the CSA to conduct herself in a more professional manner than she currently acts, and urge the superintendent and the assistant superintendent to stop causing division amongst the board and to stop wasting taxpayers' money trying to remove me as a board member and in focus on improving the school environment for our students.
Thank you. Shannon?
Yeah, I want to say we had a very good conversation this evening amongst the board members, so I thank everyone for their honesty and for bringing forward, and I think it was a great discussion moving towards some changes that could be made towards some of our policies that we have. So I know it was an executive and a lot of you didn't see it, but it was a very healthy discussion. I think every member here actually discussed something during that conversation. So it was great to see. So on that positive note, I hope everyone has a great school year. And good luck to all the sports that are starting up. Back over to our
Great.
own.
Thanks, Shannon. August?
Yeah, sure. You have something to say? Yeah.
I just wanted to, so the record's complete and for anyone watching, and I appreciate what the board members have said. I just want, generally policy is discussed in public, okay? It's done at the policy committee level, but there was some exception to that, so I don't want the public to think that anything was being hidden from them by having a conversation in executive. Rather, there were things with regards to safety and security, which are always an executive session discussion. And then there was some legal guidance that I was providing, which falls under the attorney-client communication. So I don't want anyone in the public, either present or watching, to think that your policy discussions per se were occurring in executive session, but these were very special discussions relating to safety, security, and attorney-client privilege. So I just want that to be clear before somebody gets out on the social media or something that says you're not supposed to talk about policy and executive, what have you. We talked about safety, security, and some legal guidance in creating certain things. I just want to make sure that's clear.
Thank you for the clarity, Will. August?
Yeah, I have nothing at this time, so thank you.
Okay. Well, board, thank you all for your comments this evening. Great, fantastic opening to the schools. And I would ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No one's opposed and no one abstains. This meeting is closed. Go home safely.